Hey guys, in today's video I want to talk about Dragonite, who's still a very strong jungler, somewhere between A and S tier easily, very popular in the score team comp, but in general just says one of the strongest, or still the strongest secure out of any objectives in the game with Hyper Beam. So I'm gonna go over some of his gameplay and explain what I'm doing. Also, this game started very unfortunately, but for now we see we're on the Sense side, which means our Lily Pup will walk towards bot lane. Of course, the blue buff is one on bot side. Something in case you don't know, we're on Sense side, the Lily Pup walks bot lane, of course the blue buff is bot lane. If you're on the grassy side, it goes top side. So our Lily Pups get stolen here, and even was saying already, I was like, oh my god, the Sin Ace is walking so close towards my Lily Pup. If you play auto-tech laner, this can happen, right? But just walk more in the middle of the lane, and then it just literally can't happen. This is like the biggest issue. But yeah, so my Lily Pup gets stolen, already a bit unfortunate early game, but you know, not every game is perfect, and not every game will go perfectly. For hit items, you have Score Sheet, Buddy Berry, and Muscle Band. Score Sheet, Buddy Berry, he's one of the best characters for it, has a low cooldown Unite, and it's just so abusable, you have to play those two items 100%. And then Muscle Band, I mean, your basic auto-tech character that jungles is just the best item. Here you see the enemy team being very deep on top side, so I decide not to go for my second Corpfish, and instead just do an early level 4 gank on top side, and it works out quite well. So this is something you should always do as a jungler, is move around your camera a lot, right? Move around your camera and see where stuff is. Obviously I take my lane's A-pom here, which I probably shouldn't, but I need level 5 very fast. So taking the Corpfish as well behind, just so I get my Dragon Dance. My team is not taking it anyways. So we have Dragon Dance now for this first for the first beast, and Dragon Dance is a thing that gives you more attack damage, up to 3 stacks, and also a sort of movement ability. Here I really want to score. I have Score Sheet on. We have another ally on the score, so I'm just gonna get a quick 25 score in. As Dragonite, you can actually stay quite long in lane, so this is the only character where I do a different jungle rotation. I don't necessarily go back to my jungle very fast. I first try to make my lanes very strong. Look for some mid-Corpfishes in here as well again. We just see an A-pom away, Lucario gets very angry about it, and we get another kill. The only problem with this is that you can get invaded on your jungle, right? But it's pretty much with Dragonite, I just want to be on bot lane beast. I want to be level 8, I don't need level 9 on this character, right? Even though it's obviously nice to have, we don't need level 9, so I'm just gonna get some Corpfishes, and then afterwards go back to my jungle rotation, and then we will path towards bot lane for the beast spawn right before Dreadnought. Maybe look for a kill, so that we can instantly do Dreadnought. I'm gonna do my blue buff, gonna do my red buff, and then we will path towards bot lane. So yeah, Dragon Dance, it also gives you cooldown reduction on every auto attack, and it's on cooldown, they can see it on bot side. So it's very important to keep those 3 Dragon Dance stacks up to do more damage, auto attack damage as well. And it gets very important for Hyper Beam, because Hyper Beam does more damage for every single stage of Dragon Dance you're in. So if I check your bottom right, you see your Dragon Dance stacks currently on 3. They decay very fast, up to 0. As soon as the timer runs out, they go back to 0. So very important to keep this up. So now we're level 8. Probably should have done not the top Corpfish, kind of wasted a bit of time. Building up my Dragon Dance stacks for potential Hyper Beam, I see it's almost out of time, so we use it again and then Dragon Dance again, and we have still 3 stacks, and do a huge Hyper Beam. And it still does, you can see how much damage it still does. And now my goal is just, okay, I will just instantly start the Dreadnought without anyone being able to contest me. The enemy jungler is nowhere to be found, the enemy Dragonite who is in lane is only level 6. So yeah, I'm just gonna let my team score a bit, and now we instantly go towards the Dreadnought. Pretty much want to do it on spawn. Also, I'm running full here just to make sure that I don't get stunned while I'm trying to Hyper Beam something. When it comes to taking objectives, Goalgetter is also totally fine. It's one of the best Goalgetter characters in the game, but yeah. So I'm just kind of full healing to don't get stunned, and then we see we didn't get knocked out by the Dreadnought. We get level 9 now. I kind of should have united more to the right side there, but uniting on myself again. Dragonite works still the same way. The closer you unite to yourself, the lower the cooldown, or like the lower the cooldown for your next unite will be. And we hit a super nice Hyper Beam, killing 2 targets. I'm just gonna be so aggressive now. Now it's time to snowball this game. And you can see how easy he can still take Dreadnoughts on his own without any problems. Oh, Hyper Beam still dealing crazy damage to secure the last hit as well. And yeah, now it's time to just be very aggressive and yeah, look for maybe a score, but I kind of didn't want to score. I wanted Sin Ace to score maybe first, and breaking the score is not very that smart either still, it's very early on. Our bot lane is a Gardevoir and Cinder Ace, so breaking the score really doesn't do much, so I decide I'm just going to leave them to it. And then we start still fighting here. And now my Gardevoir hits a super nice unite. It's probably the most satisfying Hyper Beams I've ever done. We get a triple kill with the Hyper Beam, thanks to my Gardevoir. No, he actually breaks the goal. But again, breaking the score is not even smart. They have a Cinder Ace Gardevoir bot lane. They can't split push. They could have just farmed out Dinos until, I don't know, the next 2 minutes, and then they could have broken the goal with a higher score when I come back to bot lane. Now we go back to our jungle rotation. It's gonna clear it fast, and you still kind of want to do those like melee unite moves on Dragonite to make sure that you can use them quite often. But you can also jump into team fights. Here I've seen the enemy team very deep, so I just decide to jump in a bit further. So my unite move goes on a much longer cooldown. Honestly, this unite move didn't really do much in the end, but I thought it would do a bit more. I was gonna walk up, we still have a small shield, so I'm just gonna start scoring here. I'll go for the Blissey first. Okay, I didn't actually go to score. Alright, we stay for the Rotom to come in now. And again, we're trying to stay at our Dragon Dance stacks as much as we can. So our Hyper Beam does crazy damage. The Rotom actually goes in, nice by my Mamoswine, pushing them away. Now we only had one Dragon Dance stack, so we make sure we build up some more before we Hyper Beam next time. Could have probably waited a bit there longer as well for the next Dragon Dance stack. Let's keep auto-attacking. It's very important to keep auto-attacking because all this boosted auto-attack actually do something different. And they also all reduce the cooldown of his abilities by 1 second. So Electric one stuns, the red buff does execute damage, and the blue one heats you for a bit as well. So very important to keep just auto-attacking a lot with this character. And here I was just a bit too deep. I full heal the Pikachu, but yeah, just way too deep. And there's also an AoE. So like the weird thing about Dragonite's boosted auto-attack is it can actually miss. Because it's like, it goes in a straight line, and if the enemies just walk, it can actually miss quite easily. So it's a bit awkward to use sometimes, and yeah. But that's about it. Besides that, it's quite strong. We build it up very fast, and yeah. Looking for another max range Hyper Beam here. We find the Pikachu, and it always circles between them. So we always have Hydro, and then into Electro, into Fire. So it's always the same circle, pretty much. And yeah, they all do different things. And then now we're just looking for this Rotom. It's going to spawn. We always want to look for objectives with Dragonite, right? We want to look between scoring and doing objectives as much as we can. So now we're going to start this Rotom up. And just going to keep auto-attacking it until it gets very low. And again, we have 3 Hyper Beam stacks, so now we do it. Bam. Still easily get these objectives without any problem whatsoever. Going to melee Unite here just to get my Body Barrier safe. And then also my Unite stat boost, right? So I get much more attack speed right now from using my Unite. Absolutely just completely make the Blissey disappear. Pikachu is next. Bam, another Hyper Beam. We get a nice double kill. Rotom walking to the enemy base. Doesn't really matter much, it's not going to go in. So we can maybe look for a score on bot side now, but I don't really have my Unite up right now, so not much we can do. I'm just going to look for some damage, maybe steal their bees away, but yeah, shouldn't be too aggressive. If I die now, I'm giving a lot of experience to the enemy team. So it's going to look to be a bit annoying, but not to be too aggressive. Because Zapdos is spawning in 40 seconds. Pikachu actually jumps behind us, so we take him down. He was a bit too aggressive. Now there's Lucario. My Venusaur sadly dies. Couldn't really go for him. I'm just going to full heal out of the slow smoke. And we just go for this Lucario. Which also thinks he can fight me, but I'm so strong right now. And we take him down as well. So, 20 seconds until Zapdos. Again, we are pretty confident. You have to be confident on Dragonite that you are able to get these Zapdoses with your Hyper Beam. My team is still doing a Dreadnought here, so I'm just going to help them very fast to clear it. It's not a big deal. I really don't like these last Dreadnoughts much. But yeah, trying to go for it. But actually, I mistimed it. I didn't realize I only had 2 Dragon. This is the problem. Like, you have to watch out. I only had 2 Dragon Dance stacks. I didn't have 3 Dragon Dance stacks, so I didn't give my Hyper Beam. And then Dragonite actually gets it with his Hyper Beam instead. So that's for sure on me. You have to really pay attention on to how many Dragon Dance stacks you are on. Now we can slowly start doing Zapdos, but in this game we have such a huge lead that we don't do Zapdos. Like, we don't do Zapdos until opponents are dead. So, and I'm level 14.5. I'm pretty strong in teamfights as well. Right now, the enemies don't really have a big hyper carry in their jungle as well. The biggest problem with Dragonite late game is that if the enemies have a Cinderace, Greninja, Decidueye, they have much better team fighting, pretty much. So now we just auto-attack the Serena a lot, stun him with our boosted Electro attack, and then we try to just kill him. There's the Hyper Beam. Still have our Unite move up, and again, we don't have to panic. We have such a huge point lead still from the early game that we don't really have to panic. You actually realize, like, Dragonite's auto-attack range got nerfed a bit, so I couldn't attack it from this side. I think you can still attack it from behind. Now I'm just Unite moving to get myself a Body Barrier because Pikachu's moving in with his Unite move. And again, we just Dragon Dance stacks and we only have currently 1 Dragon. I actually don't have a single Dragon Dance stack. No, I actually can't see it. It's under my overlay. No, we do have Dragon Dance stacks. It's currently covered by my Cloud9 overlay. And then we take Zapdos. See how much damage we can still do. So we played it very patiently, of course, with Dragonite. You can be very aggressive and just go for these as well. And yeah, I'm just gonna probably die here. We try our best to just live and maybe make it some. I don't have Unite move up, but I have 3 on me, so my team is still gonna score. My team is gonna score, and that's all that matters. And we just try our best here. And we stand the game with pretty respectable damage for this game, ending on 96k damage with Jungle Dragonite. So pretty solid. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!